Welcome to the Put on Waivers Media Group, home of the Put on Raiders podcast and the Student Body Right podcast. This is your place for the best breakdowns and the best insight for those who fight on and bleed silver and black. Now, here are your hosts, Dwayne Douglas and Ryan Holmes.
Welcome, everybody, to the glorious episode of the Student Body Right USC podcast. I'm your host, Dwayne Douglas, and as always, I am podcasting off the beautiful shores of the Pacific Ocean. As you can see behind me, beautiful day out here in Southern California. PORSPR is my Twitter handle, so check me out there. Preston Paradise, our guest on our show today. We're talking USC football as they get ready to go to Champaign. Probably one of the best city names you could ever have out there in Illinois. As they take a breath, they leave on Thursday for a Saturday game. So everybody who's big on when the USC leaves, they can just relax about that one.
Mm-hmm.
Preston, can you talk about real quick, like what you got going on as far as like your show, everything coming up this week? Before we head into these questions.
Yeah. Put out a preview on the channel. I think I have so much content going. I think I put out the preview yesterday. Yesterday for the Illinois game, and me and Paulie, we got our pregame show that'll be airing this Saturday morning. Probably gonna do an hour show this Saturday morning on each of our channels. You can check me out on Preston's Paradise on YouTube, and then post game on Sundays I do hopefully a USC victory Sunday morning, man. So that's what I got going.
Okay, we'll see what's going on there. So I know, like when I first got a chance to look at your channel, I saw that you do a lot of stuff on the line, on the defensive and offensive line. So can you kind of discuss like what you're seeing from Zach Hanson right now? Because I feel like, this has been of all the things that have gone on with USC as far as Mayava, whatever, the running game. It's just kind of beautiful to watch this offensive line do what it does against these opponents so far.
Yeah, great to start off with this, right? As I look at the offensive line this season, through the first quarter of the season, just playing nasty, playing consistent, playing with great leverage. The center position is so important, right? And when Killian O'Connor looked like he was going to be the starter over Jean-Ray Reed, I had a little bit of anxiety. And credit to Killian O'Connor, man, because he proved me and a lot of us wrong in the bowl game, but that wasn't enough for me. I was like, I still want to see, when you see a center coming out there at 261, 295 pounds, it's like, I don't know if this is going to work. But he's been in the system, so long. And he's like really the straw that stirs your drink for these guys, man. He's the oldest guy on the line. He's the master communicator, right? The guy that is going to be making all the calls for these games on the road, in these tough environments. His relationship with Mayava has been fantastic through the first 4 games. The quarterback center exchange has been magnificent. Haven't had any issues there. And as far as false starts go, I think we've only seen one false start. I think we only had one false start at Purdue, if I'm not mistaken. So I've been very pleased with the line. I'm also, a bit of a blessing that we were able usually in the past couple of years, usually when the season starts and they're like, oh, okay, we're trying a lot of guys at guard. We're trying some guys at tackle. We're moving guys around. That has usually ended up bad for USC. It usually means like we don't have, the guys that we need to compete and win games. But when Elijah Page went out last week against Michigan State, I barely realized it. I mean, it was late night. I was kind of going through it, but I barely realized that it really happened because Tobias Raymond slides over there. Then you got Michael Benuelos that's going to slide in at the left guard, and Alani's at the right guard. And everybody's very used to, doing what they got to do and the calls and, have snaps and games under their belts at those positions. So we're in a good place, man. I don't know if it's I think you got to give credit to Zach Hanson because this is as consistent as the line has looked over the past 3 years. It just has been.
Yeah, I mean, really, they've been fantastic. And some of these gaping holes you see for Eli Sanders. some of the gaping holes you see for King Miller, give him a scholarship. And Wayman Jordan, you've definitely seen some they're running. I mean, it's no accident they're running the ball for like 8 yards a clip here, coming up during the season.
And they work so well together. But that gap scheme stuff, they work excellent together. You know, even if they're not the biggest, strongest, most experienced guys, they're able to shield their bodies and keep those gaps open for those backs to go to work. So yeah, it's been really good.
I think the lesson learned here too is that I think year 2 with Caleb, we had an offensive line that we just kind of like we grabbed people from the portal. I think that's the offensive line looks like to me is the spot where you need everybody in house. Like you really it can't really go out. You really can't go outside because that look on paper looked like a really good offensive line, but ended up being kind of a mess that year. It really was tough to watch. So can you give me a Trojan your 4 games here the most impressed with, and then one who you want to see a little bit more from?
Most impressed with. I would say I gotta give it to Killian O'Connor, man. He's a guy that I think a lot of the success in the line, and I kind of joked about it in a live show the other day about him, being one of the impact players for our game last week. But I'm high on a lot of these guys. I saw an improvement from a lot of these guys, but somebody that I was on the fence with that I was kind of unsure about was him at that center spot, man. I felt good about Elijah Page. Felt good about the guards, felt good about the tackles on each side, whether it be, him or Justin. That center spot is so crucial and so important for our offensive line to gel and be successful. So of anybody on the entire team, man, I saw the improvement from Jada Maava coming. So I got to give it to Killian O'Connor, man. I'm very impressed and proud of, the season he's been able to put together so far.
And then who's the guy who you want to see like it may be improvements or just like a little bit more? You went into the season saying you thought he was going to be something, and then maybe he's maybe not disappointed, but like, hey, like we can see a better play from this player.
What I will say is I'd like to see a little bit more production. And I know the big guys is tough, right? Because the big guys are really meant there to just, clog up those lanes, clog up those holes.
And they're rotating. So,
somebody that I'd like to see a bit more from is, Keyshawn Silver. Was super high on him coming out of the portal in the offseason. And early, throughout the first 4 games, we've seen how dominant our edges have been. We got 16 sacks in the season, tied for first in the entire country. And imagine, how more, scary of a defense could be, this could be as far as the defensive line, defense in general, if we're able to be a little bit more disruptive on the interior. And at times this season, we saw Jakeem Stewart make a couple big plays last weekend. Devin Tompkins getting in the backfield. I'd just like to see a little bit more from Keyshawn Silver, in terms of his disruption, getting through the line of scrimmage and causing some issues for the opposing quarterback and the opposing offensive lineman.
First of all, I did see a report that I don't know how big the report is, but that Oklahoma State, who fired Gundy, was trying to come after Coach Henney, like California, Oklahoma State. Let's be real, bro. Let's be real, Cowboys. Calm down.
I didn't see that.
I didn't see that report, so we'll see about that one. So we'll see. Illinois, 9 a.m. body clock. They already went to Purdue, so they kind of exercised some demons there. What are your worries about going into this game? Because that's the whole everything is there to make the game close, right? At 9 a.m. But body clock. They just got their tails whipped last week, 61 to whatever. Thoughts about facing the Illini?
Yeah, to be honest with you, man, as far as the time goes, as far as the body clock stuff goes, like I may be delusional, but I kind of just look at it as like when you playing, man, you got that helmet on, you're going up against the opponent, like you got to get all over all that. Like, you got to get past all that. You just got to beat the guy's ass in front of you, man.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care about what time it is, if it's midnight, if it's 9 a.m, if it's 3 a.m. In the off season, they were practicing at all odd times, early in the morning and late at night to prepare for these scenarios. I think the Purdue situation and that whole fiasco and rain delay and whatnot just helps us even more in a situation like this. And as far as facing Illinois, coming off that loss, that big time embarrassing loss on primetime television to Indiana, I hope, and I think this is why I have so much faith in, this coaching staff and the guys that we have around the program right now, because they have to be challenging the guys this week. And, complacency is the biggest killer. Yeah. You cannot be complacent. Sure, you're leading the country in sacks, whatever, but who cares, man? That's not a national championship. Like, who cares? Like, you guys were first and now you're tied for first. So got to continue to get better. I hope Henny, Nua, Lincoln, all these guys continue to make sure that these guys are complacent this week, because you're dealing with a wounded animal, man. But I watched the press conferences of Bielema. I watched their DC's press conference. I watched their offensive line coach's press conference. Like, they are going to basics. They went to basics this week in Champaign, man. Basics tackling. Let's tackle. Let's learn how to tackle. They missed 20 plus tackles. So they were doing tackling drills. They were looking the offensive line in the face. Like, how soft are y'all really, man? Y'all Division I football players? Like, look at the quarterback. Do you care about this guy? He's been sacked 16 times. Like, do you care about your quarterback? So they've been doing all that all week. So I hope there's been an element with, Coach True, our strength and conditioning coach. We've talked about this culture of accountability and togetherness and holding one accountable. That's all going to be at the forefront. And I hope it was, because we left at noon today. I hope that was constantly what was being preached to the guys this week. I think we're set up to succeed, though. I think, in the offseason, I talked about us being a 10-2 team. I think we're going to be a playoff team. This is a game that I had us winning by 2 scores in the offseason. I still feel that way. I think on both sides of the ball, the talent that we have supersedes anything that they have. The offensive line play makes me feel even better at this point in the season. And we can only beat ourselves, man. Yeah. One thing that I will say is Illinois is only averaging 45 penalty yards a game. USC is averaging over 80 penalty yards a game. We have 33 penalties for 323 yards. That is 3 football fields of penalties. We have to figure it out, man. We got to be more disciplined. We cannot beat ourselves. That's the only way we lose this game, in my opinion, if we beat ourselves, being undisciplined and being stupid on the football field.
Yeah, and I think also, too, to mention some of the mistakes you talked about with the penalties, special teams. We've had special teams penalties that have kept drives alive for the Trojans. And also, I think they only had 10 men on the field on one of the field goals. So some of that's
man.
Some of that's still some of that still is happening, and it shouldn't be happening anymore.
That drives me crazy, though.
Yeah, you only we just score. You're on kick. You're on kicking team. On the field goal team. You should be on the field. I'm not sure why that's an issue. And
that's on staff. That's on staff.
100%.
You see there's 27 coaches on the sidelines, bro. Have one person, just numbers, just counting numbers. That's your only job. I can sit there. You can sit there. Hire one of us, man. Sit there and make sure there's 12 people on the field every time, and that's it, bro.
Yeah,
that's it. 11 people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 11 folks should be there. So that was nuts as far as
11.
As far as that goes. 12 would have been a little. Hey, it is what it is. But you want. Listen, it's a. We'll see what happens. Obviously they have to go through the whole injury process with. I guess Jakeem Stewart's out of a boot, so that's always good. And he practiced yesterday. We'll see about Jacoby, and then we'll see also about Elijah Page as well too. As far as that goes. So something fun at the end here. what has been in the first 4 games? What has been your favorite play of the season so far?
Yeah. Favorite play, damn, that's tough. Man. Favorite play. I gotta probably go. The Jacoby catch.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of plays. I'm thinking defensively and offensively, but I'll probably go at Jacoby one-hander against Georgia Southern. That was probably the most exciting, the funnest play that we've seen so far, that I've seen so far. But I think we're in store for a lot more, man. So
yeah.
So hopefully we can see him come out healthy against Illinois.
Yeah, I usually sit in the same place every time when I go to a game, and like the coolest thing about a play like that is when you see like the kids in the crowd were going absolutely nuts when that happened. They were like, "Oh my!" You see them like, "Oh my god!" Like just, "Oh my god, Dad! Oh my god, Mom!" Like it was pretty cool to see that. So hopefully he can play this weekend.
Little Trojans.
Little Trojans. You got start them. You gotta raise them right. You gotta raise them right. All right. So check out Preston's Paradise. The one of the best the primer, the pregame show. Like, you get the lawnmower going. You get a primer. You gotta prime it first. Like that's the way you get ready for this game.
Yeah.
And then it's gonna be early from on the West Coast. But hey, listen, it is what it is. It's a price you pay for being in a big conference. Notre Dame's not in one, so I don't know what they're doing. But end of the day, we'll see what the Trojans do against Illinois coming up here. Check out Preston's Paradise as well too. All right, take care, brother. See you next time. Fight on.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you. Fight on.